Good afternoon, Tony Dottino here doing my Live with Tony on Monday. It is now November 25th, and not a good weekend for New York Giant fans, or no New York Jet fans either, but bad weekend for the Giants, so I might be giving up watching football at this point in time. But in any case, I wanted to cover today constant reading that I'm having in the various newsletters that I continue to get and read that just keep coming in one after another, confirming or focusing on the impact of six critical factors. And I'm seeing a new one that's being added on, so maybe seven. But at least I want to go back and cover the sixth and maybe the seventh. Or let me go back to the seventh right now. Blood pressure. There's more and more newsletters that are coming back and suggesting that blood pressure has an impact on your your heart health as well as your mental health and your mental well-being. And if you step back and think about it, it does make sense that blood pressure is a factor. And the factor it covers is that our brain is using about 20% of the oxygen we breathe in, and we get our oxygen in our bloodstream that goes to the brain. So as the blood is going through the brain, right, the oxygen is being deposited there. 20% of the oxygen we have is used on our brain. And the blood pressure, obviously, is what's driving blood throughout our whole body system. So keeping ourselves in a normal range, which I keep seeing is less than 120 and 80 or 75. I run about 125 to 75. So I'm somewhere in that range of what they continue to say is important for your long-term mental fitness and cognitive health. But let me go back and review the other six that now continue to come up and coming up week after week, and the Harvard letter and the Mind, Mood, and Memory from Massachusetts General, coming in from UCLA, coming in from Cleveland Clinic, coming in. I mean, it's coming up over and over again. And those are the factors that start with exercise. The importance of physical exercise. Again, back to bringing blood through the body's system. And exercise is now being defined in multiple areas. It's not just exercise like in weightlifting or building muscle, but exercise and bringing flexibility to your joints. Things that you're doing, the bands, stretch bands that they're talking about. And so building flexibility is what I'm trying to get to. And building your flexibility of movements in your joints, right? And you see more and more things about moving in terms of your joints. And then, of course, you have aerobic activities, the importance of some form of walking, and it doesn't have to be jogging, which is really exciting because a lot of people don't like to jog, whether it's because of their hips or their knees or their ankles or whatever. It puts wear and tear on the body. So walking is also being touted as a good form of exercise, and how they define intensity as well. Being running at a certain pace and a certain speed, pushing your blood pressure levels up. So exercise in the three pieces, lifting some weights and building some muscle, aerobic, bringing your lungs up and bringing that, and then flexibility. So exercise is now being broken down into three categories. And most people think I go to the gym and I work out and I build up these muscles, and it's not going to get it done because of the other things, flexibility as well as running. We go to sleep. God, we all know we want to get sleep because if we don't, we get tired and we get cranky. And who doesn't know that sleep is an important function of cognitive fitness because of it cleans out our toxins. It cleans out anything that's bad. And so I'm seeing literature reading our sleep habits to cognitive decline. And the toxins during our sleep periods are getting purified or cleaned out of our brains, and so getting a good night's rest. And yet we all know that we should get a good night's sleep, and when we don't, we're cranky, we're tired, we just drag ourselves through the next day. And so it's not something we don't know about. It's how do you get a good night's sleep? And one of the simple tips I get people is if you are not sleeping through your night, and sometimes as you get older, you need to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. But more importantly is if you're not getting a good night's sleep and things are on your mind and they're stressing you, get up and write them down. Get a piece, just a blank piece of paper. You know what? Get a notepad. You know, go get a notebook, blank pages, and write in your notebook. And title your notebook, thoughts while sleeping. Get up and write down those thoughts. Make sure you got a pencil or a pen next to your bedstand with your little notebook. Get up and write down everything that's keeping you awake. What's going on in your head, and just kind of do a brain dump on it. Which brings us to the next level, which is stress. We know that stress spikes the cortisol levels in our bodies, and an excess of cortisol is not healthy. It breaks down the immune system. It does all kinds of bad, nasty things to your body when you are in a prolonged period of stress. And it floods the body with cortisol, which is good when you're going to fight or flee. When you're in your peak of defend my life, I got to defend my freedoms and things. But then when that stress level continues to stay at a high level because you have worries and anxieties and things that are just bugging the heck out of you, then we know that the continuation of it is not a good thing for you. And therefore, what do you do to handle your stress? How about walking, taking a walk? How about looking at pictures of nature? And they're finding, just staring at trees and streams and mountains and people enjoying a boat ride or something. These are the things we get back out in what we call nature. Go look at some birds that are chirping away, or animals. Zoos might be a good place to go, but there are things you can do to reduce your stress levels and get you through the day. Nutrition. We know that nutrition, number 4, nutrition is a good thing for us to be doing. And the foods that we eat are having a lot to do with the chemistry within the body. And therefore that chemistry within the body is making the firing of the nerve, the axons and neurons in your brain light up or fire up or dull up. And so the different foods we eat, and God, we keep reading about processed foods and the saturated fats that are not good for our heart. Well, they're also not good for your brain because they build up the plaque on the arteries that are up inside your brain. It's not a good thing. And so the food, the nutritional habits. How about mental challenges? Number 5, mental challenges. What are you doing to challenge your brain? We keep seeing a lot about crossword puzzles and Sudokus. I tell people the best thing you can do is create, how do you better remember information? What do you study that you can learn and retain more and more information better? Crossword puzzles are good. Dancing is great. Ballroom dancing, because you have movements, you have music, the brain has to remember the sequencing of steps. So ballroom dancing as well. But mental challenges. What are you doing to challenge your brain? What are you doing that maybe you're learning something new? Learning to play piano, musical instruments is another one. That's a great thing. Or at worst, you know what? Go to the Maximum Memory Mastery online course that we have under the USA Memory Championship and see if you can improve how you remember names or how you remember numbers or how you remember lists of things that you need to get accomplished and get done. And then last but not least, the importance of social interaction. Taking a recent study in the Harvard Health Letter. What's your brain score? My goodness, what is your brain score telling you? And in it, it talks about, do you have 2 or 3 people that you can talk with, that you can depend on, that are important to you, that you can confide in and get some counseling or help, or just get an opinion, or just get an unemotional, objective look. And so the social networks that you have, at least 2 people that you can confide in when things seem to be weighing down and creating stress and anxiety. How can you at least have a couple of people in your network? And so there are your 6 elements of key factors of long-term mental fitness or cognitive well-being. Add the blood pressure to it, and we may now have the lucky 7 of things you can take control over that can make a difference in your long-term mental health. And if I've learned anything in the 30 years I've been doing the work that I do, is there's nothing that scares people more than not having a mentally functioning brain as they get older. They want to know who their friends are, they want to know who their family is, they want to be able to communicate and discuss challenges and problems with people. And there's nothing that scares people more than losing your cognitive fitness. So these are things you can take. I always tell people, you know what, take it a step at a time. You don't have to jump on all 6 or now 7. Take one and work on it for a month. Get that done. Take a second one. Do it for a month. And work on them one at a time. It's certainly enough to keep you busy or to keep you in control of things you can do to maintain long-term mental fitness. And we are off to another week, and this Thursday is our Thanksgiving Day parade, football games, whatever else is going on, families together, travel, and we'll see you on Wednesday and Friday this week. So don't eat too much on Thursday, but I'll see you on Wednesday. We'll see if we can pick up some nutritional habits for you.